any idea where Orlando gets their clothes? I swear, I could do with a wardrobe upgrade.
Back so soon? I realize my company is electric, but the flattery is unnecessary. Well, a bit more wouldn't hurt. I'll be delighted to explain what I can. My role as liaison is to facilitate the needs of the responders and our guests and speak for the interests of management. That sounds terribly formal, I know, but in practical terms, it means I do what I can to keep the White Spring livable and support the refuge. I oversee the robotic staff to attend to the former, and in the latter case, I arrange for the disbursement of resources from management. Food, medicine, materials. Management has considerable resources, which they are happy to donate. I handle those arrangements. Now, darling, you can't imagine I would tell you a thing like that. A less trusting soul might think you were pumping me for information in the hopes of planning a heist. Of course, I know that's not why you ask, but you understand why I have to be rather secretive on this subject, don't you? Let's just say management wisely invested its wealth when such things mattered, and are now well equipped to be generous. Oh, a bit of this, a bit of that, whatever they require. As you might imagine, the state of things prevents them from much travel. I go where they need me to go and see to what affairs they see fit. In this case, the White Spring itself and the refuge. Think of me as a concierge, my dear. I'm here to improve your experience in whatever way you require. Of course, darling, whatever you like. There is very little I'm permitted to speak about, but ask away, dear. Darling, I wish you would not press on this issue. I value our burgeoning friendship, but you place me in an awkward position. Oh, that disappointed look on your face. You do know how to weaken my resolve. What can I say? It would be terrible if I were to betray one trust to secure yours. You wouldn't want that for your Orlando, would you? I can tell you this. They are believers in the American dream, one they wish to see restored. The refuge is a small step on that path. I won't speak to their minds, my dear, but I will tell you what I believe, and I hope that will be sufficient answer. America was meant to be a land of opportunity, a place where anyone could find a freedom to build a life worth living. The refuge is a first step to rebuilding a society bigger than any one settlement. To say, we are in this together. Forgive me, darling. I do get a bit emotional on the subject. My dear, nothing would bring me more joy than to answer your questions. Your suspicions wound me. However, my employer values their privacy as highly as they value the fine work the responders are doing here. Suffice it to say, they are the owners of the White Spring, as I believe I've mentioned. I am at your disposal. I'm afraid you may wish to ask the lovely Rucker those questions, darling, but I shall do my best. Hungry for gossip, are you, darling? About whom should we speak? Miss Lennox is a skilled pilot, I'm told. I confess we've spoken little, as she spends all her time attending to the vertibird. I do not get up to the roof as much as I might like. Such lovely views. So we rarely cross paths. I have rarely encountered such optimism, even among these fine responders. Ms. Wagner's unusual childhood seems to have produced a happy, well-adjusted adult. We should all have been so lucky. She is always friendly with me. It would be improper of me to have favorites among our guests, but if I did, she would be among them. Such a warm woman, wouldn't you say? A true joy to have with us here at the White Spring. And she is so tireless in helping feed the poor people who come to the refuge. Very admirable. I dare say that were the White Spring operating as a resort once again, she could be our head chef. What a delightful man. I find him very refreshing, actually. An inventor and freedom fighter, all in one. A number of our refugee guests hail from the PITT, but Mr. Rorich is quite the character and always willing to chat. I do enjoy meeting new people. The perspectives of others are invaluable, don't you think, darling? Whatever you like, darling. I'm here to help. Me, dear? Would you really want to dispel all the mystery? What is it you wish to know? I can't imagine there's anything of interest to you there, dear. But you may ask. Oh, here and there, darling. I've been to lots of places before the management asked me to take over here. If you want to imagine a thrilling and intriguing story about my past, don't let me stop you, please. Working after a fashion. You must understand, dear, the management cannot travel as freely as most people can. In their stead, I have wandered far and wide, seeing to their interests and being their eyes and ears, hands too, as necessary. It had its good moments. I enjoy meeting new people, and much of the countryside is still beautiful, despite everything. But to be honest, my darling, it was a relief to come here to do this. It's been too long since I could remain in one place for a while. Promise me you won't get bored if I become a homebody. I'm getting used to a soft bed and clean clothes. Can't wait for my tell-all autobiography. I can't blame you. Who knows when I'll find the time to write it? How about just a little dark secret of mine to tide you over? I'm not from anywhere interesting, actually. Nothing remarkable about my origins at all. Disappointing, isn't it, dear? That's why I usually let people imagine their own version of things. Keeps them interested. Not at all, dear. Certainly. What do you require? Regrettably, the White Spring itself is not equipped to provide full medical care at this time. I do apologize, darling. And the refuge clinic is reserved for the poor indigents arriving at its doors in dire straits. If your needs are less immediate and severe, may I suggest a visit to the chemists in the downstairs concourse? Doc Stanley has a variety of medicines available appropriate for personal use. I believe the responders have commandeered the kitchens to provide for those deprived souls coming to the refuge. However, the White Springs robotic waitstaff can no doubt provide you with light libations in the dining area. You may wish to head downstairs to the merchant concourse and visit Marie and Antoine to sate your hunger. But of course, the White Spring is home to a number of robotic merchants in the concourse downstairs. However, if you prefer a human touch with your shopping experience, may I recommend you speak with Giuseppe, a charming man with a discerning eye. I have no doubt you shall get along famously, dear. Not at all, my dear. Believe me, I shall be counting the minutes, dear. Come back safely.